Real-Time Real Estate, brought to you by RSRmoney.com. There's only half the inventory of a normal housing market today. Wondering if it still makes sense to sell your house right now? Short answer, yes, especially if you consider how few homes there are for sale today. You may have heard inventory is low right now, but you may not fully realize just how low or why that's a perk when you go to sell your house. There's a graph, Calculated Risk, can help you put that into perspective. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, housing inventories did grow slightly week over week, shown in the blue bars. Overall supply is still low, shown in the red bars. Compared to the same week last year, supply is down roughly 10%, and it was already considered low at that time. But if you look further back, you'll see inventory is down even more significantly. To gauge just how far off normal today's inventory is, let's compare right now to 2019, the last normal year in the market. When you compare the same week this year with the matching week in 2019, supply is about 50% lower. That means there are half the homes for sale now than there usually be. Key takeaway, we're still nowhere near what's considered a balanced market. There's plenty of demand for your house because there just aren't enough homes to go around. As Lawrence Yoon, chief economist at the National Association of Realtors, explains, there's simply not enough homes for sale. The market can easily absorb a doubling of inventory. So if you want to list your house, know that there's only about half the inventory there'd usually be in a normal year. That means your house will be in the spotlight if you sell now, and you may see multiple offers and a fast home sale. Bottom line, with the number of homes for sale roughly half of what there'd usually be in a normal year, you can rest assured there's demand for your house. If you want to sell, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Remember, Geneva's got that transition loan, so that works out really, really well for people. So we always want you to remember that. We talked about that earlier in the broadcast. I don't want to get into that too much right now, but remember, it allows you to buy your new house before you ever sell your old house if you're worried about that. Also, remember, just because you sell your house and you have, say $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 in equity, which is normal right now. We're watching that all the time and seeing about the equity positions people have and how much. Well, that's normal right now. So there's nothing that says just because that's there that you have to spend all of that money for your new house. You don't have to take everything that you get from your departing property does not have to go into the new property. Why do I bring that up? Well, the reason I'm sharing that is because we know that a lot of people right now have a lot of debt. They're carrying a lot of debt, more debt than we've seen in a long, long time. So credit card debt, auto debt, student loan debt, unsecured credit debt, all of those things are out there. And you've got all this equity. You've got all this, they call it usable equity. I think there's a more formal term for it, but it's all there. So what happens if you find that new house and instead of putting 40% down, you put down 30%? And remember, don't put down whole numbers. Don't go by percentages. There's no value in using a 32% down payment. If you're going to do that, go back to our Mortgage 101 where we talk about discount points and see what happens if you take those two extra percentage points and buy down the rate instead of putting it into the down payment. You get no value in that down payment area. So the bottom line right there is, what do you do with the extra money if you're not putting it all in the down payment? Well, you can buy down your interest rate. It'll save you a lot more over time. But the other thing that you can go ahead and do is you can pay off debt with that money. So be aware that's a big, big issue, is you can take some of that equity that you've accumulated, pay off debt. Now you qualify for more house on the other side. You might be able to buy a house that you really want. Maybe it's something that's a little bit more property, or just put it in the bank and add it to your rainy day fund. All that's available to you. So just contemplate again. And I'm going to share this with you over and over again. In fact, Josh, we got to put a big one of those banners that go on there. Strategy beats rate always. Strategy beats rate always. You can have a great rate, but if it doesn't match your strategy, you might be spending too much money to get that rate. Or you might have a horrible rate and it matches your strategy, save a lot of money. Strategy beats rate always. So just throw that out there for you. We're going to be talking about that a whole lot. Remember that concept.